Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to this very unique one-off video where we are cramming in a live match reaction slash last word and scoring the players, and we're bringing a couple of fans on as well later in the show. But Newcastle United have just put in a hell of a performance, the biggest ever win in the history of their Champions League campaign by putting 4 past Union SG, who have been unbeaten for over 10 games, and Newcastle have just went over there and just brushed them aside like a Brussels sprout. Yes, I didn't mean that, but it just came naturally. I am down by Joe. There is the two of us. How are you after that win?
Me? How am I? Honestly, sod how I am. How is Anthony Elanga and how are his legs after that shift he's just put in? Anthony Elanga, eat your heart out. What a boy! Oh, what a shift. What a
What a
shift.
performance by so many. We are going to go to scoring the players later, but I reckon there'll be quite a few high marks on this one. And of course, you can play along in the live chat as well. We do have the live chat available. We will bring it on screen. Why not? We'll have a look. We'll have one or two that are coming through. Matt's already in there as well. So you can get your live chat. It'll come up on screen as we'll come back every 5 to 10 minutes. I wonder if anyone didn't realise it was an early kickoff. I would be fuming. Says Matt. Of course, everyone will be fuming at that. Newcastle United have won 4-0. So we're going to kind of like break it up into a match reaction slash last word. But initially, Joe, just off the cuff then, because I was like, what a performance. What a win. Where's that been hiding? It's dominant. And yes, people, the critics will say, aye, but you've seen the opposition that you're playing. Who cares?
Nah.
They're top. They're unbeaten in the league.
Yep.
We went and won 4-0 away from home in the Champions League. Unreal.
Look, at the end of the day, when you say that, they're this team, they're this. When we went to the Champions League last time, did anyone expect us to destroy PSG the way we did? Everyone would have been like, how did PSG get beaten by that team? The Champions League is a hard league and people get there out of merit. It is really, really difficult. So look, just there's so much to talk about. Like you say, that performance, man. Oh my God. Oh, and what a lineup. What a lineup, mate. Oh, I just seen that. That's Newcastle at like basically 100% power, man. Come on.
Yeah, and where's it been hiding? It's like, because now the performances against, yes, Liverpool 10 men, we were brilliant.
Yeah.
But the other performances have been a little bit indifferent, haven't they? You look at even the Wolves win that we won wasn't great on the eye. Arsenal were very defensive, and obviously against Villa, it was a good performance, but we couldn't put the ball in the net. Leeds was poor despite it being a 0-0. Bournemouth, people might say, it's 0-0 again, but it's against a team that have started well. So people were saying it'll come, and I said, look, it'll come at some point of the season. I just didn't expect it to be in the Champions League in the manner that we just dismantled them.
Yeah. And do you know what? A lot of people are going to go on about it now. I will rant and rave about the pressure we put on. Yes, that's the Newcastle. We love that type of pressure. However, one thing I want to point out, something that's becoming very, very present with Newcastle, right? And it happened when we went against Barca in the last like 5-10 minutes, is the passing. Oh, it's just went up a level, had it, man.
One touch, wasn't it? It was quick.
It's just me. It's beautiful, that passing. Like, and you can't even turn around and go, it's only this player and that player. Yeah, there's certain players who are doing it better than others. Tonali, Bruno, Kjell Elanga's in on it now, Gordon. But the whole team, it's that, like you say, one touch pass, 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 pass. You know someone's going to be there. And the trust, oh my God, we are becoming and this isn't even with everyone fully gelled in. Like Malik Chow's only started, what, 2 matches? 3?
4 now.
4, sorry. Do you know, like, how and Elanga's definitely fitting in. That's the Elanga guy. I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop talking about Anthony Elanga the day, man. Oh my God, man. He's been just on. This is the Elanga we've waited for. And anyone out there who dares turn around and says they would start Bonds over Elanga. Yes, Bonds done well tonight. Yes, I give it. Nah, this is the Elanga and he's going to get better, man. Better.
He is going to get that. That's his best performance. Again, we're doing scoring the players a little bit later. We are having Newcastle fans coming on later too. But this is like the match reaction. I'm going to move into the last word in a second. But yeah, it's great, and it's like, because the whole preseason was dominated by one man who wanted out. It was just negativity all through the summer. Even the performances then on the pitch weren't great because we needed a striker. Now Valdemar got off to a good start. Then the performance has just clicked the neat. As Joe was saying, it was quick. It was one touch, pass, move, get on the counter, move, get the ball out wide, pace. It was just, everything was just tick, tick, tick. If you want to look at a absolute perfect away performance anywhere across Europe tonight, you look at that.
Yeah.
You just look at that and think, wow, what a performance. Yes, we might be going over the top because emotions are raw, but we've just beaten a team. Remember, this team put away PSV quite easily. This team have won 7 out of 9 league games or something like that and drawn the other 2. This team is winning. Yes, it's not the glamour of a Barcelona, but we've got to put what's put in front of it, and we just put them away 4-0. And I would say normally on their own turf, but it's not technically their own turf. But still, it's an absolute statement that Newcastle put out, and I'm absolutely fucking delighted. I'm absolutely disastrous and feel emotion because I'm not there as well at the same time.
Someone did mention earlier, second comment that came in, it was Aaron Fairless, surprised you're not there tonight. You are at nearly all of them. Lee, there's the question for you, Lee. Never mind chat, never mind me. How's it felt for the first time in, it's got to be at least 2.5, 3 years, you haven't attended a match like this for Newcastle, a competitive match? How's it feel?
It's been a bit weird for me, I cannot lie. It's like, this will be the one game that I missed because the loyalty points went to 200. Unfortunately, I'm not quite at 200. But I'm honest in saying that. I don't hide away and say, oh, I can't get there because of travel. It's just because I didn't have enough points. Simple as that. But I'll be every single other one because it'll be higher allocation. And look, I know the allocation was a bit miffed, and that's the negative. We'll get the negatives out the way, is that Newcastle were only given around about 600 tickets, and the rest, the other half, went to family and friends, and some of them returned them, and Newcastle fans were getting phone calls off the club saying, look, do you want a ticket? And it's like, well, you've given me 24 hours, how am I meant to get out of there and that quick? Or, I've cancelled my travel and all this sort of stuff, and it wasn't great. And then look, I think that needs looked out in the future, because behind the goalkeeper, there was just rows and rows of empty seats. I'm like thinking, why can't you give them the away fans at least get another 1,500 in there? Disappointing in that, but look, ticketing is an issue that everyone feels passionate about, that people can't get tickets. And now when you see a stadium that's empty behind the goal, and it's like, it's a one. But yes, it did feel a bit odd. I can't lie. It feels odd doing this. I cannot lie either. It's like, why aren't I there? And it's like, well, yeah, the simple fact is, to get 200 points consistently, you have to go to every single away day for 9 years running without missing one. Yeah. That's a lot. That is a lot.
How long have you been a season ticket holder for, mate?
So season ticket I've been for on and off, because I went through a period of about 3 years. Choosing me matches. I wasn't a season ticket holder, but in between there, it's about 15 years on and off. But consistently going away, it's been, well, with the channel, about 7 years now, 7, 8 years.
You're far off that threshold. You see what I mean? You're
I'm not a million miles away from it, and I've missed. The last time I missed a game was when we got beat off Luton 1-0 away. Yeah. And then the time before that was Spurs 5-1 away. So I've missed 2 defeats. I can't get wrong, but I've missed this one, and it's like, ugh. Let's have a look what you're seeing in the live chat before we move to the next section, which will be, of course, the last word. James says Gordon started to click, Elanga started to click. The back line was immense. Midfield was quality. Valdemara's touch and vision was something else as well. Kane-like, but such a young age. I wonder if Bayern Munich were watching. Aaron doesn't say when Tino and Hall are back fully fit, we'll be unstoppable. David says great result, but BDB, Big Dan Burn, is not left back. It was also Newcastle versus Lilliput United. Was Lee holding the lads back all along? I knew they'd be joking there. I'm to blame, Mama. And that was a performance we wanted to see. Everyone through T was fantastic. Lewis says, I'm absolutely buzzing with this victory, and hoping this is the kick up the backside we needed to move on, and you will have enough points for Karabag. And let's not talk about them, because I'll put a joke in there. George
just do it.
Well, maybe you can carry me and in the next season. But having said that, Karabag have won 2 out of 2,
They're doing all right. The carrying the weight, Ari, aren't they?
Just before I've kicked you off screen, look at that. I didn't like Joe anymore. Let's get him back. There was a good point there. Is this the kickstart that we need now to gather a bit of momentum going into Forest?
I think so, yes. Now, don't get us wrong. It's synonymous in Newcastle to go away, win a game like that, and come back and just flop it. It is very synonymous of us, right? We are known for it. But I think last season and this season, there's always been a little turning point in the season where, you remember last season, people were calling for Eddie Howe's head. And then we got a couple of wins on the run, and we went on one. And we went and brought the first trophy for 70 years. Like, this season, I think this is the win. And it's happened much earlier. It's happened much sooner. It's in a way that, wow. Champions League, like you said. This is the one. This is the one that pushes with Forest. I think have got a bit of a worry, and they're going to need to try and contain that. I don't care about the press anymore. That passing, they need to focus on trying to stop our passing. And we know now, we are confident. Look at the confidence in some of them lads, the way they were touched. Some of them were doing it like how Berbatov used to do it. He doesn't even look at the player he's passing it to. He just bang, off it went, straight along the floor, straight to his man's foot. Off they go. It was beautiful. So yes, I think this is the match, the win that makes Newcastle go, do you know what? We're fucking massive, us. Massive. Huge.
I love that. Then right, we're going to open up the share screen facility. As you can see, these are the lineups. Let's start the last word section then. So looking at that then, Joe, the question would be, obviously, who would replace Livramento 6 to 8 weeks out, which is a blow, but it's not as bad as everyone thought, because some people thought it might be an ACL. So that's good news. It's only up to 8 weeks. So who's going to place him at left back? Is Lewis Hall going to come in? But it was Dan Burn. That's the big one. And also Fabian Schär is now ready to come back. Would it be Fabian Schär or Malik Chow? So what's your opinions on Chow keeping his place and Burn at left back?
Look, for me, Chow keeping his place was not a question to me. That's part of the way when I looked at the lineup, I was like, whoa. That's like Newcastle in final form. This is what we can do. And Malik Chow, for me, he's just that little bit edge above Fabian Schär in his control. He's as calm as Schär. He's not quite got the long ball that Schär has, the pinpoint accuracy, but he's brilliant at carrying the ball out of defence and starting an attack with his feet and running with it. So for me, it was a no-brainer with Malik Chow. We wanted to go in dominant. Eddie Howe had to choose Chow over Fabian Schär, if you ask me. And I suppose it's that thing again as well. Schär's obviously he's been out with a concussion and such. He wants to bring him back in slowly. Malik Chow's been fine and he's been falling in a good form in the team. You're picking Chow all day on that one. And then Dan Burn, that's the only point for me in the lineup where I went, ooh, so that means Dan Burn's at left back. I was like, ooh. And my goodness, you always forget. I know there's a few people who are like, Dan Burn's not a left back. I know he's not a left back, but my God, he can do that job brilliantly. He is good at that. And he does something I've noticed that the likes of Kieran Trippier and Demi Stokes do at Newcastle. They know they haven't got the stamina and pace that they used to have. And Dan Burn now knows that. And he does this sort of like overlap and run now where instead of trying to keep up with his man, he keeps up with him a little bit. Then he drifts off and then he comes back in front of him. And I mean, when you're running a ball and you're like 5'6" and all of a sudden you've got this massive unit, Dan Burn just standing in front of you, that's a kind of intimidation. So that was my only worry, was Dan Burn starting left back. I probably would have chose Hall, but honestly, on the night, Eddie Howe has once again made the right choice. Dan Burn had a bloody brilliant game at left back, and I will not hear any different.
Yeah, the only slight worry is that he becomes first choice left back because Botman and Chow have struck a good early partnership.
Yep.
Because Livramento being out, because I don't want Hall being. I think Hall should start coming in and being that left back, and Burn be a centre back, because Burn was brilliant and he's got his England call up for a reason playing there.
Yep.
But you might have to break up the Botman / Chow. But that's a good problem. It's a good problem to have. Obviously, Elanga with his pace on the right wing, Gordon left, the usual midfield three, and of course, Bayern Munich's favourite striker, Nick Woltemade, up top as well. Idiots, what they are. Idiots, what they are.
Oh,
but let's go on then.
One thing I want to say about the lineup, right, is you look at that team, and when everyone's fit, and you look at an even better bench of what we could have, that is something I think any team in the world worries about. And ladies and gentlemen, is that not... Oh, sorry, I can't say ladies and gentlemen anymore. It's apparently offensive to a certain football club. That is, for me, the thing we've wanted for so long now. We have wanted a team that looks good from the starting 11 down to your very last potential substitute. You cannot ask for any more, Newcastle fans. That lineup has been absolutely wonderful. It's a dream lineup, and I don't think there has been a better lineup for Newcastle looking that good for a long, long time.
Yeah, and hopefully we don't get too many more injuries, because the last thing we need, obviously, you've still got Ramsey to come back, you've still got Vissa to come back, Livramento will come back eventually as well. So as you see, some of the shots from Eddie, not from Eddie, it's from Craig Hope. Eddie is on the pitch and then Tyndall, and there he is there. Alex Murphy in the background.
Can we
Dan
just
Burn.
appreciate Tyndall a little minute, right? I'm sorry, but that Terrace's white jacket is beautiful. But oh my God, no one's going to pull it off like Jason Tyndall does. My God, he is brilliant at what he does with them styles. Love these scenes.
Yeah, these are some of the scenes around this. This is what I would normally capture on the last word myself, but using Craig's footage, which he shared on social media, and some of the fans that Lee Ryder posted, of course, with some of the great scenes across O'Reilly's, and obviously the fan zone that was put up there. A lot of Newcastle fans went over there without any tickets, which was very, very brave, incredible of them. And obviously there's the bit of the news with Livermore 6 to 8 weeks. As we touched upon, that's a great scene there. Gosford Mags, and you've got Liam Lane, Jarrah Mags, and European on Tour, and SMB. Of course, there's the lineups, and Union's lineup, of course, as well, which had a couple of English lads, Burgess. And it was a nice moment a little bit later on the game to see what was he called, man? Sykes come on, the Toon fan.
Yep.
Not in the way he probably wanted, but it was great to see that he got his dream to play against Newcastle. So that was a nice moment. But let's talk about the first goal then. Newcastle put "you decide, lads," because it was a bit of who scored that. Was it Tonali? Was it Nick Woltemade? But if we remember rightly, then Joe, obviously the ball comes back out to Tonali. He sides foot it, and we all thought it took a massive deflection. It's gone in, and Tonali's off celebrating. But obviously, Woltemade is pointing and saying, "Look, it's mine." But it wasn't just a deflection, though, Joe. It was the cleverness to actually flick it onto goal. And that shows you the skill and the quickness of what Woltemade has to do that, because you've got a thick switch. The shot, you don't know if it's going in or not, we'll never know. But then just to flick it and put it the other way is absolutely class. It's brilliant.
It's certainly not the work of an idiot, is it? Look, one thing I will say, right, is one when I looked at it first, I'm going to go back to when I looked at it first, I say, oh, it's Tonali's, because Woltemade's lifted his foot out of the way. That's what he's trying to do. And then when I've seen it back on the replay, no, I do think it's more Woltemade's been like, I'm going to help this go in. And when I've looked back on the replay, I'm like, wow, if Tonali had just hit that and it went that way, it was hitting the defender, I believe. So Woltemade's had the awareness to know. And it's not just the flick as well. It's the direction of the flick. He knows where the defender is. He knows where the keeper is. And he knows where the ball is. Look, anyone who wants to question, and I hate mentioning his name and hate talking about the subject, but anyone who wants to question, is Woltemade as good as Isak? Yes, but in a different way.
He looks much better than he in the deep end.
He's not the one who's going to do that magic glue the ball to your feet and run along the touchline and then lead it on to a goal. No, but he's a man who's going to do something like that. And in the end, that is something we've needed, a person who can sit in the box. Yes, Callum Wilson used to do it, but he just wasn't fit enough or quick enough. He didn't have the awareness. Woltemade has it. He has it all. And he is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And take away from just the goal, his positioning in the box and around the box is bloody brilliant. And that's why he's there where he needs to be. He's bloody... I've Woltemade.
Well, we'll go on to score on the players, but just touch upon Woltemade. His link up and back the ball back to goal, and his link up was absolutely sensational tonight. Absolutely sensational. That alone, just that part of his game was a 10 out of 10. And just that part. Never forget about his goal. Just that link up and the hold up was absolutely phenomenal to get other players in, like Bruno, Tonali bursting forward, to get the ball out wide with the pace, which leads me nicely on to the second goal, because Newcastle needed to score. They were on top. And it was a case of, I'd said it in the watch along, like, right, I want Elanga running at that then defence. He needs to do it. Then we seen him do it. It was like, right, he's got the beating of him, psychology.
Yep.
Right. Do you know what? I'm going to do it again. But this time he cut in, and it's a blatant foul, and it's just inside the box. I didn't know whether it was inside or out. And there was a bit of like, is that a penalty? Is it a penalty? And it was. Obviously, I had the commentary on mute. But that pace alone, Joe, just it scares defenders. Like, oh, Christ, he's going to get in goal if I didn't do something. If I didn't make a challenge, he's going to have a shot. Brings him doing. You want to talk about his performance, wasn't it? Especially first half, he was breathtaking.
Look, I've seen it. There's been a lot of talk about Elanga and how he needs to be able to cross it. You know, when I was in St James's Park last week for the why have I forgotten which match it was?
Wolves, was it?
Wolves. When I was during that game, I'm terrible for remembering matches, people. But look, when I was in that game and I heard people questioning, you just can't put the cross in. He's too close to the byline. I'm like, nah, he's finding his feet. He's gonna get there. And I didn't expect it to be this quick. I expected it to be another 2-3 matches and Elanga have a game like he has today. My goodness, his pace, that awareness for going into the box and going towards his man. He knew what he was doing. He knew how to win that penalty. He knew exactly what he was doing and he was brilliant at it. Proper shithousery, ticks a box. The pace. Who's faster, him or Gordon? I personally think Elanga, me like.
Elanga's faster than Gordon.
I thought so. And the pace on him, there's another box, tick. The control on him, whether he's next to the touchline or whether he's running right next to two defenders, he's got it, tick. The confidence on him, tick. The fact that he apologizes and talks to his teammates constantly, tick, tick. Like, this man is ticking so many boxes for me, and truly, it's one of my favourite type of players. It's why I loved Lauren Bird back in the day. It's why I liked Anthony Gordon. It's why I liked Saint-Maximin. Anthony Elanga to me is, people can talk about Bonds all they want being the upgrade to Maxi. No, he wasn't. Elanga is. Elanga is that guy. He is that dude. Honestly, Anthony Elanga, I am fully endorsing you, my friend. You are an absolute beast, and tonight is exactly what we can expect from him going forward. I don't care if the next game he doesn't hit the pace that he did the night and gets him into that qualification of absolute wonder player, but the game after he will, and then it'll become consistent. Nearly every single game he starts, he's just going to go out there and beat the living out of any fullback that he comes near. He is just going to get more and more and more confident, and I am sorry, but he is going to be incredibly dangerous. I have loved him tonight. Obviously, later when you ask his man of the match, it's obviously going to be Dan Burn, isn't it?
So Anthony, have you seen the picture there of Anthony Gordon steps up, puts the goalkeeper the wrong way? A little bit of shithousery with Trippier grabbing the ball first. It was right. Who's taking the penalty then? Who was it? But it was Anthony Gordon. He stepped up, big sigh, puts it in, sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. Newcastle in dreamland, the 2-0 up, and it was a good time to score. It was about 3-4 minutes before half time, and Newcastle went into break 2-0 up. You're thinking, this is class, this. Do you know what it is? Didn't do anything stupid second half. We'll be all right. We'll come out and we'll see the game out. But we'll go on to the second half in a moment. We'll just pause and have a look at what you are saying. And Mark says, hello, lads, just logged in. And I think we're going to play enough games that Asula will get playing time, especially if Vissa and Voldemar occasionally play together. That will be interesting, James, when Vissa does come back after the international break. Voldemar can play together, hold the ball up in a different way to Isak. And right now, it's hard to argue it's not going to help our wingers more than how Isak played. And Matt then also said there was a glimpse of Voldemar's link-up play with Gordon during the game, and I think that could even be better with Vissa if the opportunity arises. Asula has had a good week too. We've got options now.
Yes, we do. Oh, Matt, you have hit the nail on the head. We have so many options now. This is what I'm going on about that lineup, man. You put Wissa in that lineup. You put Livramento in that lineup on the bench, both of them. However, the depth, we've got it. The first 11, we've got it. This is something this is one of those moments where people sit there and go, wow, I wish my granddad was here to see this team. I do. Honestly, it's just, this is dreams. What dreams are made of. We're in such a good position, Matt, James, all your boys.
It was a fantastic win. 1-0. Let's go into the second half. So it was a case of, right, the next goal is crucial. Because if they score, it's 2-1, it's a bit nervy. But the penalty incident, again, we had to see a couple of replays of it, and it was Gordon on the left-hand side, crosses in the right-hand side, it bounces, and it does hit his hand. But then, Joe, it's deemed, right, are you in it? It's a bit like Gabriel the other day, is it? Because Gabriel's was like behind him, that's unnatural. The defender's got it like here. I think it is a bit harsh, but it hits his hand. Maybe it's different in the Champions League UEFA rules. It's given as a penalty. Do you think that's blatant, or do you think... Because the defender kind of like puts his head down a little bit, and that's probably what's convinced the ref, I think.
Look, for me, it's almost karma for what happened to her a couple of years ago with PSG. But it's also the state of play with VAR, and more specifically, handballs in Champions League. You have to be in a very, very, very natural position, almost in the fetal position, to actually get away with a handball in the Champions League. If that's in any other league in the world, that's not a handball. I will say that, it's ball to hand. I do think it's harsh on him. However, it's the Champions League, and you're not getting away with that kind of handball, regardless of how you fell. I can sit here all day and be like, oh, the way he fell, the way his head went, the way this happened. It doesn't matter. It's Champions League. He doesn't get away with that at any time in the Champions League. No one does. Not even Liverpool. They don't even get away with a handball like that. Not a chance. It's Champions League. It's tight. It's so hard. So hard.
It is, and obviously Liverpool got a couple of defeats on the road, which is lovely to see. But look, the substitutions were spot on. The game was won. You're 3-0 up, and substitutions were made. Louis Murray came in on Joe Linton. It was all sensible subs. Bruno went off. Valdemada went off. It was just like save them for Forest. Anyhow, yes, it's in a comfortable position, but you've got to make the right subs. It was just like Lewis Hall got a few minutes. He went 5 at the back and just say, right, we're going to keep this. We're going to win. Eddie Howe literally got everything right, Joe, from top to bottom. Everything was spot on the net.
Yeah, even, do you know what it is? It was that moment when Joe Linton, I seen coming off in the 58th. I was key. I want how to make substitutions early, but not like that. Not Joe Linton for me. Hold on. He's on a yellow. We have got a tougher game. Forest is a tough team. Do you know what? Fair enough. Fair play. I like it. And every other substitution I never had a query about because of the game. It's that whole thing of you see it so well. Eddie Howe has ticked so many boxes today. So bloody many. He has been absolutely fantastic. So if you're going to like these videos for anything, you like it for Eddie Howe. Please.
If you haven't liked this video so far, why haven't you? Drop it a like on the video. That'll be wonderful. 4 videos slashed into one. Because technically, match reaction, last words, scoring the players. We'll have a couple of fans on soon. And Harvey Barnes, your favourite player of late. I thought he was really bright. He went on the right-hand side, like, I'm not that keen on him on the right-hand side. But the Union had to come out because they're getting beat 3-0. They need to show something. And, goal difference might affect you getting in that top 24, top 8, wherever you finish. And Newcastle were just playing on the counter. And we had the pace of Asula. You had the pace of Gordon and Barnes. And it was great play, I have to say. Great counter-attack. I think it was Tonali to Barnes, and Barnes flicks it on to Sula. And then Sula's running on goal. I'm like, make the right decision. Make the right decision. You've got to, because you've been criticised. And to be fair to Sula, plays in Barnes, and Barnes comes in and with his right foot, yes, it takes a slight deflection, but it goes in. It's 4-0, man. 4-0, and you're thinking, right, your subs are even producing for you. Everything is just going right. And do you know what it is? With Harvey Barnes as well, we want him to do well because I've been critical of him as well at the start of the season.
Yeah.
He's been very underwhelming, and that will do him the world of good because he's come off the bench and then scored and produced.
Yep.
However, what he does have is Gordon's got 2 goals and he's played well away from the goals, but Elanga's had a phenomenal first half as well. So again, it's another great problem that Eddie Howe has going into the weekend.
I'm all for turning around and slapping myself and saying, look, yes, I made a wrong decision. I don't think I'm justified in saying I'm wrong yet. Barnes has a lot more work to do, but tonight is what I want from Barnes. I want you taking the ball and taking it. My favourite thing about that goal and watching it back is how well he takes it on in his stride, doesn't do a heavy touch, and he just slots it home. Nothing fancy, not trying to get it up into the top right corner. He just needs to get it up. Just put it in the net. And
as John Anderson would say.
That's that's all he needs to do, Barnes, and he's done it right tonight, and that is something I appreciate. So for tonight, I'm not going to get angry with them. I'm going to say thank you, Barnes. Thank you very much tonight.
Yeah, you've done well. You've got to praise it where praise is due. And Newcastle obviously then sealed it. It was 4-0. It was a hell of a performance, and the players went over to the fans and clapped the fans off, and then they did the team photo, which we have ready to show for you if you haven't seen it as well.
Get that bad boy up.
Look at that team photo for everybody who's watching there. So fantastic to see Newcastle United 4-0 away from home. It's just absolutely class. Good to see all the staff, the backroom staff and player liaisons and all sorts. Dan Burn in the back. Where is Eddie Howe? Where is he? Is he actually there? Let's have a look. There he is. He's at the back. There he is.
Wait, yes. So I just want to point something out as well. If you take
Tyndall, aren't you?
No, not Tyndall. Do you know Fabian Shea and Malik Chow? There's a man in between there. He comes to me through the day. Not through the day Costa. He comes to my local shops, and I see him quite often. He is absolutely belters. He's great, that man. Yes, lovely.
Yeah, Neil. Yeah, it's a kit man.
I didn't realize it was what I kept seeing him in a local shop. I'm obviously not going to talk about that because it's his private life, etc. But in a local shop, I seen him. I was like, I recognise you. And there was one day someone went, he's the kit man from Newcastle. And I thought so. So I said hello to him. He watches the channel and stuff. So cheers, buddy.
Yes. He's the one. Remember, I was telling you that outside the coach.
Yep.
Neil pulled us and said that I was walking across the street in Singapore and the bus pulled out in front of us. I had no idea.
Yes.
The whole squad's looking at us. I had no idea. That was Neil. That was him.
That's him. There you go.
That was him.
Thank you, pal. You're a cush bloke, and I'll see you in the shop soon, right?
Yeah, we've got Connor waiting as well. We'll bring Connor on, so we'll do scoring the players. It's during each person as well. But I want to take a look dead quickly at the league table. There is games being currently played at the moment, so this will probably change. But Newcastle are currently just outside of the Champions League places. Here is your live Champions League table. Again, this can change. So look at that. I was mentioned earlier that Karabag have won a couple, and these are live games. So if you're watching this a little bit later on the rerun of this, you'll see that Newcastle could be higher or lower. They're currently sitting in 12 at this present stage of recording. You've got to come in the top 24 to basically get into the playoffs, and the top 8 automatically go through the last 16. So that looks much better, and the goal difference helps with Newcastle now being a +3. So we'll keep an eye on all them results throughout Europe. So are you confident, Joe, that Newcastle will get through the top 24?
Look, do you know what it is? Sorry, just clip it up. I think the top 24, do you know what it is? I think if we play like we do tonight against every other team, right, we're qualifying without playing off. Clip that up if you need to, but yes, I believe Newcastle will get into the top 8 and finish either 8th or 7th and get an automatic qualification into the knockout stages for the first time in, Jesus, I don't even know how many years.
Well, if you remember the last Champions League campaign, we had a not the one just gone, but the one like way back when Bobby was here. We had 2 group stages.
Yep.
You had to play 6 games. Then you move into group stage 2, have another 6 games. That's where we got the likes of Inter and Bayer Leverkusen, the harder games. So that was back in the day when you had to play something like mental amount of games to try and win it. But I reckon that Newcastle will it's harder not to qualify than it is, because it's only the bottom 8 that drop out. And if Newcastle don't get in the 24, I know we've got a hard run of games and we've got better level of opposition, but we have to be performing better. And how far do you reckon that Newcastle can go?
I joke about the final, but I think we can confidently get to the quarter-final and sneak away into the semi-final. You're hearing it now. Newcastle, semi-final, and we get put out by Barcelona.
I can hear Connor laughing in the background as well.
Yeah, he's like, no chance. Connor's going to come on and humble us like he always does. Connor!
Evening, lads. How are we?
Well, you're laughing at Joe's comment there, weren't you?
I mean, listen, I admire the confidence. I really do.
You mean optimism?
Well, yeah, and I hope he's right. I would love nothing more for him to be right there. I just think there are going to be bigger tests ahead than Union were tonight. Albeit, listen, they're at the top of their division. They've been in good form. Won their first game in the Champions League as well. So you have to say, you go away anywhere in Europe and win 4-0 is impressive. It's a step in the right direction because, of course, in the last campaign, we weren't quite able to get a win away from home, despite what I thought was a great effort against Milan, for example, in the San Siro. When you take a point from there, so lots to be happy with. And I will say as well, by the way, that when I was on here for the Barcelona game, one of the last things I said was that Osula plays in the cup games, and you alternate between Woltemade and Wissa, but that the front 3 has to be Woltemade, Elanga, and Anthony Gordon.
You did.
That is exactly how that has turned out, and I think tonight proved that. We looked so much better with the 3 of them. I felt, because I think we've lacked a real cutting edge at times when we've got into those forward areas, because we've had great play. Our build-up's always brilliant. We're always fast-paced. But I think those 3 tonight just looked absolutely brilliant. No question about it. And I thought that both penalties were penalties. The irony of that handball tonight being a penalty in the Champions League, but the save from Gabriel not being one at the weekend. I mean, honestly, this handball rule is the bane of my life right now.
Yeah.
It is. Where has this come from then? Because I asked Joe this earlier. Because if you look at like the performances this season, you can say that we're better against Villa, but we didn't have a goal scorer. Liverpool with 10 men as well. But apart from those two games, it's been a bit. Where's it coming from? And then all of a sudden, is it just a case that it was just a matter of time, or is it that we're looking at the opposition and yes, they might have started the season well, but the Jupiler League isn't quite the intensity, the quality of the Premier League?
Well, I think there's a mix of both. I mean, look, there's definitely an argument for there being a matter of time. The last 4 away games we've played have been 0-0 draws, but it's not been without the want of trying. I mean, the amount of chances we create and have created in those games. Look at the Villa game. I know Villa had their chances in that game as well, but we had some great chances that you've got to think on another day you take one of them. Same as against Leeds, and I think tonight was just that combination of finally having a striker up front through the middle who is starting to find his stride now. That's now his third goal. I think you can see he's now
How
getting.
good, Connor, was his performance tonight?
Oh, he was brilliant. And if signing him makes us idiots, then I will be the happiest idiot in the land tonight. Because he was brilliant. And that flick, I'm telling you, he meant that. Some people didn't, but he meant. You can see because it's his movement just before it that tells you that he's meant it because he's just jumped and he's got the flick on it. It's brilliant. And I think he's really starting to come on to a game, and that's promising for me because we know coming back for the international break, Johan Visa is going to be available as well. That's a guy that scored 18 goals in the Premier League last season, so he's capable. And I think that's a really exciting prospect for us if you've got Woltemade firing and Visa in there ready to come in, and of course Osula, who I thought was brilliant for Harvey Barnes' goal. I thought his hold up was great, really good strength in holding the defender off, and the pass was timed perfectly because it's so easy if you're just a split second behind and Harvey Barnes ends up being offside because he can't stop. He's got to keep the run going to go on it. So I thought it was brilliant all round. But again, some people might say, well, it's Union, you should be winning. But I just think, considering what's been going on, the fact that the toll it takes on you when you concede last minute winners, as we did against Arsenal at the weekend as well, to bounce back so well tonight and get the win is brilliant. Obviously chuffed for Anthony Gordon getting on the score sheet as well for the penalty spot. Good penalties, I have to say. He, struck very, very.
Might actually be top scorer. I'm not sure yet. It'll be up there or thereabouts. But Joe, I'm going to ask Connor a couple of questions so I can have a breather because I'm lazy.
The one question I'm going to ask straight away, Connor, the one thing I've been banging on about all night. However, what's your opinions on Anthony Elanga tonight? Because for me, he was the man. He was the man of the match for me by far. What's your thoughts on Elanga tonight? Has he hit his stride? Is he in that form that he needs to be for it?
Yeah, I think he's getting there. Absolutely. I think again, his performance. I mean, tonight I thought he was brilliant again. But he's a really good performances more often than not since he came in. It's his pace getting down the channels is brilliant, and his distribution's great. I mean, some of the passes. I mean, look at the Barcelona game. He's laid it in a plate twice, really. Harvey Barnes probably should score, and the other one, Gordon's a little bit unlucky with. And you just wonder if Woltemade was where he is now, then maybe. But I think he was brilliant again tonight, Elanga. You're going to get that from him. I mean, I'd seen, they were saying earlier that last season of the fastest sprints in the Premier League last season, of the top 20, 7 of them were for Anthony Elanga. It tells you how quick he can be. Maybe if you were going to be critical of him, maybe you would like him to maybe add a wee goal or two to his game, or a wee assist. But he's getting there for me massively. And it's just about, can we consistently keep that going? And I tell you, it's great squad depth to have as well. That if you can take Elanga off and you've got Harvey Barnes there, who I've always believed has been far, far better for us coming on off the bench. He always seems to score when he starts on the bench and then comes on as the sort of super sub. So, I think we've got the good depth there that you need. But Elanga, one of the top performers tonight, no question about it.
Before Joe, you butt in, funny enough, he's just been awarded Player of the Match.
As he deserves. I'll tell you. Bang on.
I'll ask you to be quiet because I will play it. But yeah, this is what he said.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Johnny's Anthony here. Very, very happy with the win. And it's a step in the right direction. Let's keep this going. All focus on Forest on Sunday. Come on, you brothers.
So there you go. He's absolutely out of the moon with that.
Thank you very, 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 very much, Anthony Elanga, because he literally leads into my next question that I had for Connor. Because my question was going to be about the squad depth, Connor, but you nailed that one bang on. Everyone should be buzzing about the depth that we've got right now. But leading into Forest now, like, does this give Forest something big to worry about? Because we know what it can be like when we wake up like this. We can be that sleeping giant almost. What do you think going forward? Is this the one that's going to really boost we into the season now, or we're rocketing to the top?
Well, I mean, listen, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. Obviously, Elanga coming up against his former employers. Well, if I was Forest, it would give me something to worry about, because the challenge that they've got, I mean, they're in an awkward place just now where they get a fairly good result, you've got to say, away to Betis last week in the Europa League.
Yep. But
domestically, they just can't seem to buy a win right now under Ange Postecoglou. But much like we've seen when Ange brought Spurs to St James's Park, he will bring a side who will come out and go for it. And I think that will suit us perfectly. Because I think you give those spaces to us in the wide areas with the pace we've got, regardless of who Eddie decides to start, I think we can cause real problems. And that, I think, is the real difficulty, because it's not a nailed-on certainty that Elanga starts necessarily at the weekend. Eddie Howe might decide to change it. He might decide to go with Harvey Barnes for the start. He might decide to go with Jacob Murphy. Again, two guys who bring different qualities, but equally can pose problems for opposition sides. So I think it's difficult to judge. But I tell you, if I'm Anthony Elanga, I am absolutely determined to be starting the weekend. I'm telling Eddie Howe, get me on that park. Start that front three again and build it. That's what you've got to do. The more they're playing together, the more they're going to get used to the way that each other's playing and being able to read the game better. So, listen, I think for Forest, it's a real tough one. They must surely be thinking, if Newcastle are flying, it's going to be a tough afternoon. And by the way, over the next 5 games, 4 are at St James's Park. I don't see any reason, and maybe I'm being overly confident, but I don't see any reason why you can't win those 4 games at home. There's none of them that stand out as unwinnable. You know, Spurs will be tough, Benfica will be tough, no doubt about it. But we've had Spurs in our back pocket for the last couple of seasons, frankly. Jose Mourinho, unpredictable, but does not have the best record at St James's Park. Benfica are a decent side without being brilliant. So if we can play to the levels that we've seen tonight, and better, because we can be better than we were tonight as well.
Yes, we can.
Then I think absolutely you can go and win those games, and we've got to be confident of doing that, particularly when on the back end of that, the flip side happens where you end up with 4 out of 5 away. So I think trying to maximise the home games is going to be so important.
I want to ask you one last question, Connor, before we move on. Is that the best Champions League performance by Newcastle United ever?
Ooh.
Well,
is that better than Barcelona 3-2?
Well, is it better than PSG 4-1 2 years ago?
That's what I'm doing it.
That's the thing. I think they've all got their place rightly. I think tonight's the best away performance in Europe. I think certainly statistically it's the best away results. It's the highest result we've had in Europe. But that PSG performance, I think everything that surrounded that and the Barcelona are neck and neck for me, because they were 2 teams who were arguably favourites to win those tournaments, particularly PSG 2 years ago. You know, we were in a group of death and nobody gave us a sniff against PSG, and we wiped the floor with them at St James's Park. So much so that when we went over there and we played a totally different game to the way we did, we end up taking a point that should have been all 3 as well, because we get done by a poor penalty decision. And you could see the impact that first result had on the second leg and how they approached it. So I think the PSG one shades it for me as probably the best one, but that's the best away performance. No shadow of a doubt about that. And to be fair, let's hope it's not the last one. I'm hoping we have this conversation again and again, because it just means we're getting better and better. And Eduardo Hildinho will continue to thrive on the European.
Love that. That's his Portuguese name when we'll be Benfica. Right, Connor, thank you very much for coming on, pal.
Cheers, lads. Take care.
See you, Connor.
Soon. We'll bring Jacob on very shortly. Yeah, fantastic win. Shall we read some of the comments out, because we've missed a couple of the comments out.
Bring it.
And I can answer any of them if needs be. And so can you, Joe. So go on then, Joe. I'll let you read some of these out.
Well, I've got to bring one back from earlier, which you can't see on the screen right now, but Mark Ryan, bro, semis, you're dreaming. I dare to dream, ladies and gentlemen. We will make the semis. Moving on a bit quicker. Massive threat to Elanga tonight, but Tonali run the show. Big Nick was superb as well. Happy days. I will say that about Big Nick Pope. He made an amazing performance tonight. He made some brilliant saves, and I take back my comments about having Ramsdale as number 1 now without doubt.
You are, yeah?
Yes, because tonight just showed what Nick Pope can do, and it reminded us that he's a great... There was a moment when, I can't remember who it was for Union, took a shot, and Pope goes to hit it, and he pulls his hand down at the last second because he knows if he knocks it, it's a corner, and it was going over. Awareness is brilliant on him. So yes, big shouts to Nick Pope. Sorry if I missed something, but thought you were going to the game, Lee. No, Lee missed it tonight, didn't you, Lee?
I can explain why. So, I've just seen a comment. If Adam got a ticket, great. The only way Adam would have got a ticket if he had a resell from the club, or he got in the home end. He's on less points than me, so if he's got into that, fair play at him. Travelling over there, I think he was going over there for the fan zone, but I weighed it up and thought, I don't have 200 points. I'm on the way there, but it would have cost me over 400 quid to go there and back, and then if you include hotels on top of that, and if I got a match ticket, which I got offered 250 quid, I thought, nah, I'm not spending 700 quid because I'm putting money towards a camper van. That's why I'm not over there. Yes, I did hear about Lewis Hamilton's dog as well. That was a bit of a shame, and I didn't care what anyone says. I know he's a celebrity, but losing a pet, I lost my cat recently, and that nearly killed me. So,
Oh, it did pass. I didn't see the update. That's passed.
Roscoe, his bulldog, passed away. Bless him. And the other day that my dog passes, I'll be in devastation. So yeah, it was hard to see. But I don't know if there's any other live chat messages you want to read out.
Mark Ryan just saying the PSG game far and away. Toon fan saying no to is that better than the home performance. Marco, Newcastle were a lot more brave in their passing. It's as simple as that. Thank you, Marco. This is what I said earlier on as well. People can talk about the pressure all day long, but the passing is becoming something of sublime quality that I absolutely love. Our greatest ever Champions League performance will be the final we win this season. That's what I'm talking about, Toon fan. Say that again for everyone who can't hear it in the back. Bradford put up more of a fight than Union. I want to disagree with that. I think there was at times, Lee, and I don't know what you think about this, that Union did look threatening.
Small spells,
yes.
Small. I think if you look at that, if you're a Union fan, and our Anderlecht's ground, which doesn't help the fans, but I would be pretty disappointed the way my team's played all season, and then you're coming up against... And it's a Premier League side, and it's a level or two above, but I'd be pretty disappointed getting beat 4-0 at home. And I would if Barcelona came at St. James's Park, beat us 4-0. So,
fair way to put it.
Yeah, I would be a tad disappointed, but yeah.
Flipping the shoes. And how are you, the lads? HWTL. Yes, I would rather watch Lee too, but fair play to anyone who makes that trip. I will definitely.
Everyone. Loads of people went over there and just stayed in the fan zone.
Yeah.
It was absolutely class. So congratulations and fair play to everybody who's went over. Just experienced the fan zone in Brussels alone. It's absolutely class. So I'll take my hat off, but I'm not going to take my hat off because I don't.
No, never. I'll take my bobble out. There you go.
You can do that. Jacob, how are you? I think if you're unmuted, you have. How are you?
I'm good, fellas. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. This is the Overlap series now.
It is.
Overlap friends.
Overlap friends now. So you've watched that. What's your thoughts on that? That was just complete, wasn't it?
Yeah, apologies if I repeat anything. I've obviously not been the whole stream, but yeah, it couldn't be much better, to be honest. Can't really quite believe that we played that well, considering for the first 5-6 games, like we played. It's like watching a different team. I think the intensity, the speed, I think the risk that we took were a lot more. I think, and we have the players to do it, which is really annoying because we haven't been doing it the past few weeks. So yeah, I really think, not that it was a statement win because we're playing a pot 4 team at the end of the day, and we probably should win. But you can only beat what's in front of you. And yeah,
do you not agree that was a statement win? Because I think it was.
I think it was in a sense, but I don't think other teams will look at that and think, "Wow." I think it's a statement win for us internally. I think it was massive for us. But externally, I don't really want to. I just want to focus on ourselves, sort of thing. But yeah, at the end of the day, we've won 4-0, clean sheet in Champions League, and we've come away with 3 points.
I was expecting you to be absolutely bouncing. I feel like you've come on and I'm shot through the... Anthony Elanga, save us!
I think other fans will say, Newcastle are expected to win that. But for us, that it wasn't just a win, it was the way we won.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. It was 2 massive boxes because the perfect night is a performance and 3 points, and we've got that, and it's away from home. And you mentioned again, yet another clean sheet. We just seem to be keeping clean sheets on the road, so may that long continue. But there's so many standout performances, wasn't there, Jacob? There's tons. I mean, where do you want to start?
Tonali is. I think he gets in every team in the world. The only team that I can probably think of is probably that Barcelona team that played a few weeks ago, where he might not get in. But other than that, I think he's not that he's underrated, because we all know how good he is as Newcastle fans. But I think maybe from like other teams, I think he's unbelievable. I think he's got literally everything. Like, I think if he wasn't playing in a 6 and he was playing in an 8 like he was last year when he first started joining us, I think he'd chip in with a lot more goals. His technique when he shoots is it's unbelievable. But yeah, I just don't think he's missing anything. I think he is world class. I think
it is. Eddie Howe literally got everything spot on. I can't come away and criticise anything he did. The substitutions all made sense.
Yeah,
it's just, and I asked Connor this earlier as well, Jacob. It's where's this come from? Because the performances have been a little bit indifferent. And is it just a time to look at it will come good, and unfortunately Union have just been on the end of receiving. And can we then have that momentum go into Forest and the week after and so on?
Well, history says when we do put in a performance like that and win, because we've never really had the best of starts in the Prem, have we? Like in the past few seasons, we've always managed to climb up the table as the years gone on. So I think history will say that we will go on now and be us, quote unquote. So I think in a way, I think the Arsenal result kind of did stem this. I think it was perfect tonight for us, like a Champions League game, a pot 4 team. I know we should win it, but like you said, it is like an internal statement win. So I think it was probably, put your best team out, see what happens, take risks, and then I think we've come away with the best possible outcome.
Go on then, Joe. I'll let you ask some questions.
I'm going to ask, because you mentioned pot 4 there, right? And one thing, obviously, everyone's going to go on about you should beat Union, etc., etc. But we're both in pot 4. Right?
Yeah.
Is this a win, and is this a performance that proves without a shadow of doubt we are at least a pot 3 or pot 2 team realistically, aren't we? I know there's loads of rules, but on with skill level, we match up to them teams, don't we, really, Jacob?
I think we're a pot 2 team. I think, I mean, call me biased, but I think the fact that we're in pot 4, I don't think it matters too much what pot you're in, because at the end of the day, you play 2 from every pot, don't you? So, but yeah, I think you look at all the pot 4 teams, and I think we can beat all of them. Like, no disrespect, but especially at home as well. Like, going back to your old point about how far we can go in the Champions League, I agree with you. I genuinely agree with you. Like, semis might seem a little bit like, come on, but I think we are built for like a cup team, like a competition team. Like, it proved obviously last year in the Carabao Cup. St James's, no team wants to go there. Like, Tottenham will have looked at that draw last week and thought that is the last place they want to go. So I genuinely think we could finish top 8, like you say, in the league phase. And yeah, I genuinely think we can go really far in this competition.
Without doubt. And something I don't think we've spoken enough about on the stream. I know Lee brought it up with Connor earlier. Lee brought it up a little bit earlier, but I want to talk about it. And the commentators mentioned it when Anthony Gordon was stepping up to take his first penalty in seeing if his penalty forms become better. And my goodness, I will happily, if he's the penalty taker from now on, I am confident. He's come on leaps and bounds, hasn't he now? Like when you think about his whole game as a whole, what a player. How can people think about getting rid of him?
Oh, it's unbelievable. When he's on it, he's on it.
Yeah.
He has his off games, as every player does. But when he was stepping up to the penalties, you didn't think he was going to miss. Like you just thought it's going to be a goal, especially after the first one. But obviously with the Rat leaving, I was like, I don't know who was going to be on them because obviously you had Cher he was off the pitch, and then Trippier's took one before, but obviously. Is it going to be Tonali? Is it going to be Gordon? There's no like clear set taker, if you know what I mean. Like we have had in previous years. So I really do, and that's good for him as well, Anthony. I think I'll do him wonders for the weekend and going forward.
Two big goals from him from the spot, unbelievable strikes, finished well, and he's had the performance of the season so far for himself. I think personally tonight he's really redeemed himself for the red card now, Gordon, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think we all agreed it was silly. Like when that was live, I was like, "That's no way red." But looking back, it's naive, which is surprising from him, really, because he looks to have grown out of that like, initial shell. But yeah, hopefully, it can just kick on now.
Go on, Joe. Sorry.
What I was going to ask the last question here.
Well, I've got a question after them for the last one.
Right, he's got a question afterwards as well, right? We're fighting questions here. And Lee asked this a bit earlier, is now Forest, does Elanga start? Or is it Murphy? Is it Bond?
I was thinking about Elanga has to start now, but you have to get the balance right between carrying the form on and picking like a fresh squad as such.
Yeah.
Like, you can't play the same team twice a week for so many weeks. But in this case, I think Elanga has to start. I think man of the match tonight, Eddie Howe will know that as well. I just think the scary thing about Elanga is I think he can go to another level. I don't think he's reached his capabilities yet. I think he's 23, 24. He's younger than me. And
boom.
I just think if it's not so much with his crossing and his assist, but if his final product in terms of, finishing chances, if that can be improved, I think we've got a player on our hands.
Yeah, I think Elanga, if you're driving a car, you've got 6 gears. I think he's in 4th gear.
Yeah.
I still think you can go up. And it was kind of similar to what Joe was going to say. Then you mentioned like rotation, then who comes in because Fabian Schär's been rested and I come on. But it does that 2 stay the same? Do you keep Byrne at left back or do you give Hall a chance? I think Elanga starts. I think that's written for him to score against Forest. It's his club that he's just left. And also with Barnes coming off and impressing as well. Do you see any changes? Do you see the midfield being freshened up? Or is it just 1 or 2?
I think it's 1 or 2 tops. I think you're looking at... I personally have never been a fan of Byrne at left back, personally. I know he's done well, but I think Hall is a better left back than Byrne, albeit he's not been fit this season, I know. I'd love to see Hall start, but I wouldn't be, against the same 11. But like I was saying earlier, you have to get the balance right between picking a fresh team and picking a team that's on form. So that's probably, especially with Livramento injured now, I think that's the only change I'd maybe consider making, but you can definitely argue it either way.
I lied. I am going to ask you one more. Ask Connor this. Where would you rank this for Champions League wins with Newcastle?
I'm too young to remember the Barcelona, so it's literally this or the PSG one. So I think PSG edges it, to be honest, but I think this is obviously 100% second.
Champion. Right. Jacob, thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Lovely night.
Cheers, you too.
So that was Jacob, so thank you very much to him. A couple of fans, we are going to move on to scoring the players where me and Joe will rattle through them. We'll just have a look at what you are saying as well. Remember, drop us a like on the video. It's all important for me and Joe. We get to see the analytics, the feedback that you give, what he's like, what he's done. What we're trying to do is cram 4 videos into one, but shorten them down so it's fluid and quick and easy for you. So what are you lot saying? I'd love to see how Rumble Red says. I'd love to see the wingers work out on what's what. So happy with how midfield works now. Big Nick too. I want to see us hitting these beats on the sides too. Mark's going to say we should have been braver against Leeds and Bournemouth. Our passing through midfield tonight was top draw at times. I say change in style instead of long diagonal balls. Botman, Chow are key. Matt's going to say Gordon's penalties were quality. Did wonder before the first one who was going to take it, but you can see why both of them. no doubt, when he stepped up. Matt also then going to say this could be Elanga's rival game for us, regardless of the opposition, and Forest will be a game that will be the extra % up for it. And Lewis says, I would have loved to have a quick chat, but I always have problems with the thing coming on. Hopefully I will figure something out in the future to come on. Lewis, drop us a private message because we can do a couple of tests with like your net speed and your connection. We're going to try and find out. You might be on the wrong browser as well, because some are a little bit funny. But yeah, always more than welcome. Come on next time. So shall we begin the last bit then, which will be... Go on then, I know you're going to butt in, aren't you?
No, I'm just about to say scoring the players, yes. Do I have a quick minute just to run for a whistle?
Go on then. I'll start off with them. Why not?
Good. Oh, you're good. You're going to take Elanga from us, aren't you?
No, I'll start off with the keeper. Are we going to hear you pee?
No.
It's all right then. We didn't want to hear you pee. I'll start with Nick Pope. Obviously, that's the goalkeeper. I nearly forgot who the keeper was there for a second. Sorry, I'm typing as we're live. It is difficult. I'll go 8 out of 10 for Nick Pope. I do want to get a different layer out. I want a bigger layer so you can actually see it. Let's change that and see if that does anything. It does something. So I'll start Nick Pope 8 out of 10. I didn't think he was tested a great deal. I think Newcastle's performance, the lads in front of him, all did the work for him. He had a couple of awkward shots from outside the box that bobbled right in front of him. He dealt with that spot on. I don't think he was pressured into kicking. There wasn't any high pressing from the opposition, so he was fine with that. Claiming for crosses, he wasn't tested a great deal as well. So overall, I think Nick Pope had a fairly easy night, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say a 9 or a 10 because he didn't have a worldie, and that's what I would normally give a goalkeeper. If Nick Pope didn't make that save at the weekend, he would have got a 10 out of 10 for me. He would have got a 10 out of 10, but obviously that mistake. But not really tested, as I say, a couple of shots outside the box, which he claimed well, wasn't tested in terms of his kicking, high pressing or anything like that, so he was fine. So Nick Pope, an 8 out of 10. Remember, you can play along in the live chat, of course. We'll drop to you after we've done the defenders. So I'll start from right to left, and you can have Q and Trippier out of 10. And why?
Trippier, look, I've got to do the old Trippier thing of calm myself down. Because I would love to give every player a 9 or a 10. Yeah, I do that to Emmy now, man. I'm telling them, like,
you'll come up and go, "You all right, mate? Love it.
Love him. Class.
What me and Kieran have.
Yeah. Brag. Friends. No, look, Kieran Trippier for the night. I'm going to have to go the same as you with Nick Pope. He's had an 8 out of 10 game. He's been tested and he's shown that he can handle the tests as well. He's been integral in getting the ball up to Elanga on that right wing so often. What I'm noticing though with Trippier now is, and this is probably why I don't give him a 9, and it's not a bad thing, is he's obviously starting to realise his legs aren't where they are, but he's got Elanga now who can run half of the pitch that he can't quite often. You know, Trippier would used to constantly always be in the top right, up there, attacking their wings. He doesn't need to do that as much anymore. He's got Elanga there for him. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for Trippier. He's been brilliant. He hasn't made really any faults at all. I mean, the scoreline shows that, but I'm thinking that's fair for Trippier. Nice little 8 out of 10. Great performance. Everything you expect from him. He's ticked every box. You can't complain.
You're saying his legs have gone? Is that what you're...
They're going. I love how he handles it, though. That's one thing I want to praise about Trippier. He knows he's got Elanga now. He doesn't need to put as much in, so that when he needs to, he can do it. He's not just constantly... You think when the first 2 seasons with Trippier, he's constantly been over that halfway line in the attacking half. He doesn't need to do that as much now with Elanga, and he's starting to sit back a bit more because he needs to. He hasn't got the stamina that some of these players have now, and that's fair. I love the way he handles it. He's not still trying to give it and feeling and losing the ball all the time. Thank you, Trippier.
I think midfield and attack are going to score higher than the defenders, because I am going to score a town called Malik the same, which is an 8 out of 10. I don't think the 2 centre-backs were really tested a great deal, to be honest with you. I thought they were poor in attack, and yes, they headed everything away and it was composure, but it wasn't quite the intensity of an Arsenal, literally on the case, constantly. But Malik Chow didn't put a foot wrong. Great performance, 8 out of 10. More or less wasn't tested. What else do you want me to go on? Are you going to match that with Botman, or do you want to...
To be fair, Botman, look, honestly, I think this is going to be a job for the whole defence, really. You can't give Botman a 9 or a 10, but you also can't give him a 6 or a 7. He hasn't had a terrible game. He's an 8 all game long.
It's still a great performance.
Yeah, it's still great. Basically, what an 8 is to me in a game like this, in a win, if you get an 8 in a loss, you are the start of your defence. You're the one who's kept it alive and stopped it from being 3-1 instead of 2-1. Do you know what I mean? Botman tonight, Trippier tonight, Malik Chow tonight, and even the left back Dan Burn, which I think could do with a little bit of a difference, maybe. It's all have just done the job, and they haven't had a lot of pressure. But every time the pressure's been there, they've done what they need to do. You can't fault that, but you can't sing praises to the end of the world for that either. They've just done their job right. Well done, lads. You've earned your week wages. Crack on. That's exactly what we're asking you.
You may disagree on that, but I'm going to score Dan Burn the same.
8.
I just don't think it was like... I don't think Union tested our defence, and I'm really pleased saying that, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I still think 8 are very good scores, because how I work is 10 is a worldie. Very rare we give 10s. 9 is like, I don't know, say a striker gets 2 goals and assist, that's a 9.
Yeah.
8 is maybe a goal and assist or something like that. Or in the defences, your whole defence has kept a clean sheet, and you've organised it, and that's fine. 7 is where you've been good in spells, you've impacted a part of the game, you might have grabbed assists or something. A 6 is average, 5's poor, and you know where I'm going there. 5's poor, 4's bad, 3 shocking, 2's crap, 1 why are you playing for? So, but Dan Burn, left back, I don't want to see him playing there. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see Lewis Hall take over that. It might not be Forest, it might be the one after the national break, but I want to see Lewis Hall become the left back now. He's been in the squad. I don't think Lewis Hall was fantastic, and I'm going off topic here, fantastic with his distribution tonight, but get him some minutes. But Dan Burn, steady, matched with all the other defenders in the squad, and I'll score him in 8. And look, none of them were tested, so in 8, I'll give you any one of the midfield 3 that you want to start with. Actually, pause. We'll pause. We'll have a look at what, because we did say that we'll have a look at the live chat, and I'll let you think of which midfielder that you will want. Mark says Pope 8, Tripp 7, Burn 8, Botman 8, Chow 8, Tonali 9, Bruno 6, Joelinton 6, Gordon 7, Voldemar 9, Elanga 8. This could be Elanga's arrival. I've read that out. Okay, did you wash your hands?
Yes, I washed my hands.
Oh, right, coming back. I don't know what that was about there.
Yes,
get your comments, and obviously we'll read them out. So, do you want to start with any midfielder?
Yes, I'm going to have to go with, and it's only because of what's been said in the comments there by Mark. I was going to go Tonali. I'm gonna have to pick out Joelinton. For me, the midfield and the wings do not deserve anything less than an 8 tonight. I'm sorry, but they do not. Joelinton was phenomenal. You want to take a mark off him for his yellow card? Fair enough, then he gets an 8. Because personally, I would have put Joelinton at 9. Nah, I'm putting him in an 8 because of his yellow card. He's done everything right. Yes. If he didn't have that yellow card, he would have played 80 minutes and he would have come off in the 80th minute and he would have had a blind and people would have been singing all about him because his passing tonight has been phenomenal. His position in front of attacking players has been phenomenal. Like, look, I cannot deny at all. There's been a couple of times that maybe Joelinton has lost the ball, but it's been from a very, very fluky moment where Union have took a chance. Joelinton's a strong 8 and I can't fault him at all tonight. And yeah, Tonali or Bruno, who are you going for, Lee? Because
Tonali, of course. I want the glamour.
Thank you.
I want the glamour. I'm gonna. It's the first big one. I'm gonna go 9 out of 10 for Tonali. European. We don't not that we want to believe, but he deserves to play for like a Real Madrid or a Barca because his performances week in week out, he's consistent, and that's what we need. And look, you got the obviously shot/assist. It was a shot, let's be honest. It was a side foot shot. He didn't mean to pass to Voldemar. It was a shot, but Voldemar directed it on. And just everywhere, Lungs, and I'm not just nicknaming him Lungs, but he's got more to it than that. He's just his cleverness, his movement on the counter. It was him that was bringing the ball forward, running with it. It was always Tonali doing it, not Bruno or Joelinton, because Tonali seems to like have better stamina and pace than the other two bringing the ball forward. I mean, but I thought he was excellent in doing that. Little one touches, you mentioned it earlier with a lot of the midfield. Tonali was right up there for me, so he gets a high score of 9 out of 10 for me. He was just breathtaking again, and yeah, class. I love him, absolutely love him. Got Tonali 8 in the back, not this one, but my other 2 on top. So there's a reason. So you're left with Bruno.
And again, I'm going to say the same statement. Like, Magpie Massive's turnaround when Joelinton's passing was shocking. What was you watching? Sorry, like, Magpie Massive, but what were you watching, son? Because the passing on everyone tonight was sublime. It was the best factor all night. Look, Bruno, same again. He did even more than what Joe Linton did. He was making connections left, right, and centre. He was doing phenomenal as the captain.
But 9.
I'm going 9, mate, all day long. 9 for Bruno all day long. He played his role perfect tonight. If he was needed on the right side, he was there. If he was needed in the middle, he was there. If he was needed on the left, he was there. If he was needing to double back, he was there. I feel like tonight, Bruno's done just as much tracking back as what Tonali's done. I was extremely happy with Bruno tonight. Not that I ever am really disappointed. Sometimes he has a weaker performance and he's got enough credit in the bank to have them. But tonight, he was absolutely amazing. And yes, again, what I'm going to say is the same as with Joe Linton. I felt there was a couple of times where, yes, Union have got the ball away from Bruno, have got the ball away from Joe Linton a couple of times, without doubt, but they've recovered. Both of them have been them Brazilian brothers tonight, and I think the only reason people will rag on Joe Linton and Bruno is because they didn't score tonight. So be it. They were involved in everything else.
Yeah. Spot on. That's a midfield 3. We'll have a look what if you are saying anything. So you never give the ball away a few times. To me, our midfield 3 together are like the Shield wrestling team.
Yes.
All 3 of them are different and offer different strengths as a player, but together they are elite when they play like this. Joe Linton's passing was shocking. I disagree on that. I don't think it was shocking. He's part of a team that's won 4-0, and the only reason he's been subbed is to rest him for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was decent. Using Firefox for a reason Safari doesn't really work well. Yeah, are you on about jumping on the stream? Yeah, Safari's very temperamental with the system that we use. And we're full of melts as well. No wonder your views and likes are down this channel is on its arse. Well, thank you, Magpie, massive, because you're helping contribute towards those views.
Lovely.
By commenting, and maybe you've disliked the video or liked it, whichever way, but keep your comments coming because it helps the engagement. And if you haven't looked as well, Newcastle Fans TV also had its best month for 5 years last month with the highest views and watch time since the takeover. So I think we're doing all right.
Who's got the overlap, Lee? NFTV.
Talk as well. So we'll move forward then. Which shall I give you Elanga?
God damn, if you don't give me Elanga, I'm coming all the way over to your end. I'm taking Elanga. Elanga is my 10 out of 10. He's me man of the match. He is being, and I don't care if people are going to be like, oh, you can't give Gordon a 9 and give Elanga a 10. Gordon scored 2 penalties. I'm sorry, but Elanga won one of those penalties. He has been an absolute beast tonight. He has run that wing ragged. He's cut inside constantly. He's crossed the ball, precision all the time. He has barely lost the ball when he's had it. The only reason he's lost the ball is because a Union player has been able to get in quick enough and get over him. Tonali, Elanga is my 10 out of 10. He is my man of the match, and I will happily stand there and say the only other 2 people who came close to his performance tonight are Gordon and Tonali. He was absolutely unreal. Matt, honestly, if I could, I would have give Anthony Elanga an 11. All day long. I loved him tonight. He reminded me of the reason I fell in love with football tonight. He has that flair. Look, I can go on all night. Gordon, take him.
Yeah, like first half especially, he was absolutely breathtaking. I thought he was a bit quiet our second half, but yeah, it was the right decision to take him off because I think he was fading, but obviously it's easy to see it in hindsight because Bond's done well. Yeah. But yeah, Elanga, breathtaking first half, his best performance. I think Shea Given said it as well.
Yeah,
best performance in Newcastle shirt. And the punditry afterwards, and hopefully that's more to see. And you tested the defender, and he was like, "Right, I'm going to attack you," and you got the better of it.
May I say before anyone watches this back or anything and says I'm only saying man of the match because he got it, I said he was my man of the match well before that.
Early on the stream, yeah.
See,
on the stream. Obviously, I've got Gordon. I'm not going to go 10. But I am going to score really high and go 9.
Yes.
The pressure I've taken those penalties. First of all, he did win the second one as well with the cross, which bounced and then hit the arm. But I like the fact that he was involved in I'll call it tiki-taka stuff, the one-touch stuff as well.
Yep.
Especially when we went to wing-backs as well. He was tucked in a little bit. I like that. He was coming a little bit deep. He was a lot more involved as well, which I do want more of it. And it's just good to see him not playing up top because I just think it's just a detriment to him and the team. It just doesn't work. And even if it goes to the point where you've got to drop or rest Woltemade, you play Asula there. You don't play Gordon. Yep. Gordon is so much more better when he's running and coming inbound in off that flank because he's got pace. And he was brilliant tonight, and he's a 9 out of 10 for me. So Anthony Gordon, which leaves you with the idiot up top, isn't it?
The
Are we
Voldemort.
idiots? Are we idiots? Or
We,
Newcastle idiots? Or
I think we're the idiots, aren't we, for liking
paying all that money
Voldemort?
for him?
Look, for me, I'm going to do it. I saw it. Voldemort 9 out of 10.
I kind of disagree.
I don't think anyone can. I was going to say 8 out of 10 simply because he didn't. For me, it's hard. I mean, I know he made the goal. I explained this earlier in the stream. He made the goal sort of like finish. It probably would have hit the defender after Tonali's if he had lifted his foot and not got a touch to it. His awareness there has been unbelievable, and that was probably the only reason I would have given him an 8 because he didn't get on the score sheet by himself. But he's proven the job, and this is why I stopped myself. He's proven the job that Callum Wilson could have done for her if he was fit and faster. He's proven the job that, I'm sorry, but he's different to Alexander Isak. He's different to Visa. He's different to Asula. He's a man who has the ability to hold up the play. He's a man who has the ability to pass just like a winger, just like an attacking midfielder. He's got that awareness about him. He can fluently go into so many different roles, and he's done that tonight again. Might I add that? And that's why I'm sticking to a 9 out of 10 for Voltemade, because he's done it for the past couple of games where he's played. He's stuck into being fluent in every single position he has to play, and that is the Eddie Howe style, and he's getting consistent at it. Tonight proved it yet again. He doesn't put his foot off the gas. He's full of smiles. He's full of everything. He could be still frustrated off the other day of taking that dig in the face, you know what I mean? But no. Voltemade, 9 out of 10. Brilliant performance for him. He's ticked all the boxes, and the only box I would have actually asked for him to tick after that is for him to take the ball on the edge of the box and score a worldie, which, let's face it doesn't happen every day, does it? So thank you, Voltemade, 9 out of 10. Boom!
Do you know what I loved about him was his hold-up play, the neat.
Yes.
His hold-up play, because he's getting two people around him, and a couple of times he's spun away from them. That is a massive strength that you can play into, because he's shown that tonight he can do that. He got a lot more of the ball than he's had in any previous game that he's been here since his early. I know he scored a couple of goals, but we haven't seen a great deal of him involved in the play. And yet he was the neat. He was brilliant. He obviously was not as fast, but he was still pressing up until probably an hour. Then the tactics changed, and we more or less played on the counter. But I love that about him. I really love that, because that brings you a different style of play. Brilliant. Louis Miley was the first sub. Was bright. I'm not going to go crazy on this. I think a 7 is probably fair.
Yes.
For Louis Miley on that. I got a lot of minutes. Obviously, the game was already won. Joe Litton was already on a yellow card. It made sense to make that change, get Louis Miley some minutes as well. And there's too much negativity around this kid. I'm going to say it again. I said it in the watch along as well. Let the lad make mistakes. Let the lad breathe. He's 19, for fuck's sake. He's just a Ben. He's still young. You don't want to put him doing just because he has one bad game. And if you let him have a bad game every so often. But Eddie Howe absolutely adores him. 7 out of 10. He got on the ball, moved it around, kept play, was deep as well. And I like that as well. And the future is bright for Lewis Miley at 7 out of 10. Then there was a catalogue of subs, wasn't there? There was 3 at once.
Yep.
There was Asula, there was Barnes. Who was the other one?
Lewis Hall.
Who do you want out of those 3?
Sorry, how I'll do it, because I thought you were just going to place it on us. I'm going to take Barnes. And
you're going to lick his arse, are you?
No. I'm giving Barnes a 7. On the fact of that, yes, he scored. I get it. But he didn't have a hell of a lot of minutes. He had, say 20 minutes, give or take a couple of minutes, right? He had 20 minutes to show what he's made of. And he's done well tonight. He has. But that 7's because I want that more from Barnes. I want that. Just keep calm. When you get the ball in front of goal, take it in your stride, run with it. And I'm hypocritical because I could never do that. But here's what we're doing. We're the ones who rate these players. Take the ball in your stride more often like that and finish it, tuck it in like you do. I want more of that from Barnes. I want you to get up with the passing a little bit more. Like, honestly, I'm still annoyed with Barnes at times because he's so inconsistent, but tonight I can't knock him and go. Normally I would have probably rated Barnes a 5 or a 6 over the last few games. I really would have. Tonight he's deserving of a 7, and I reckon anyone who likes Barnes would have given Barnes an 8 or a 9 tonight. So
I would have given Barnes an 8 because I thought he was bright, and I think that's just a reminder of Eddie Howe. Look, I can't do this, but a lot of people like the fact he's a super sub. He probably doesn't want that tag. I thought he stretched the defence and his link-up play with Willis Sula, which I'll come on to because I'm going to pinch Asula. Asula knows he's got got to have the chance to perform. He wants more games, and obviously with the injury to Vissa, he's having that opportunity to at least get on the pitch later on the game. And I think he stretched the defence really well. He obviously grabbed the assist, and the decision making has been questioned by him, but he got it spot on, because I'm going to score him a 7, as you can see. When he came on that link up with Barnes, and when Barnes flicked it to Asula, I thought Asula's just going to run for goal and try and shoot here. But that's where the training comes in. That's where you think, wait a minute, I'll just put my gear up, stick back a little bit. He sees Barnes to left and thought, I could shoot for goal or play him on. And the mindset of a striker is, fuck this, I'm shooting, I'm going for glory. But the cleverness to then play him in, Barnes then slots at home. Brilliant for that for Will Asula. And that's what Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall and Simon Weatherston, the whole of them, will love the fact that not Barnes scored, the fact Asula made the right decision in the final third. Big improvement. That's a massive improvement, because last season you would have done a step over and shot 50 yards out of the bar.
Yep, agreed.
So, yeah, Will Asula, which leaves you with Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall, obviously. Are you doing Fabian Schär as well?
Fabian Schär got, 10 minutes?
Yeah, it's not worth it for Schär. So, look, Lewis Hall, I agree with your comment earlier, Lee. Look, I want to see Lewis Hall start more. Tonight, he's been all right. He's gelling into the team. I'm giving Lewis Hall a 7 also. He's come on. He's fulfilled the job. He's kept it with a clean sheet, so you can't knock him. But had we conceded a goal, the only person I could have imagined making a mistake for us to concede would have been Lewis Hall tonight. He wasn't as fresh as he usually is. He wasn't quite as bright as he usually is, so to speak. I don't want to criticise him too much. Just, sometimes his first touch was a bit heavy, and he made a couple of decisions where I think he's passed the ball in the wrong direction, and maybe he's not got into a more attacking position. But we know that's capable of Lewis Hall. Again, how old's he? 19, 21. 21? 21 years of age. We have seen what Lewis Hall can do. The Man City monster. Do you know what I mean? He eats Man City for tea, right? Lewis Hall is phenomenal. So I'm not sitting here ragging on him being like, I hate Lewis Hall. No, I'm just, tonight, you can tell, I understand why he's had a 7 out of 10, not an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It's because he's coming back into the team. He's fitting into places. I'm happy with that. I'm cool with that. It's fine. He's done all right. But yeah, 7 out of 10 for Lewis Hall. I think that's fair for all the subs getting a 7. They haven't had tons of time, bar Miley. I don't think they've had tons.
It's only really Fabian Schär that had 10 minutes, so we're not going to score him, because he's not people. The rest of them had at least 20 minutes upwards. So you can see that Newcastle played well, really well, 4-0, and every single player is getting a 7 upwards. And yes, we might be a little bit generous, but we feel good. It's a good team performance as well. That's why we're scoring these as individual in the team as well. So, which leaves me nicely on to the last man, which is the gaffer and his coaching team, which is Eddie Howe. And this is where we're both got to agree. I might be wild saying this, but I think it has to be a 10 out of 10.
Oh, well, I agree with you, mate. Yes. He is.
You look at that performance. Yes, there was a couple of spells. The start of the second half in particular, where Union looked a bit bright, and we were 2-0 at that stage, and they scored. I think it was a curl. I think it might be Dan Byrne left his man, and he curls it just wide. But that goes in. That might be a little bit different. But considering the team is literally bit part struggle at the start of the season, kept another clean sheet away from home, battered the team who are in form, despite whatever level of Belgian league is, the 9th best in Europe or something like whatever it is, the Jupiler League, they're unbeaten. And for us to turn up in a Champions League away game and absolutely, and I still think that's a statement, and that's just, wow. 4-0 away from home, a 10 out of 10. And I can picture it now, because these press comments and all the interviews, he'll be smiling, it'll be all positive questions. And then can he take that into Forest? That'll be the next one after that. It has to be a complete away performance, a 10 out of 10 for me.
It is. He's done everything. You've said it all. I'm literally going to mimic what you said. He brought the subs on at the right time. He chose the right lineup to put confidence in the fans, in the team, to put fear into Union. He is, honestly, I do not know, and I've said this plenty of times, the Eddie Howe effect. And this is why, when Bayern Munich will call it idiots, right? Woltemade was one of those players who, he wasn't a world beater, but you could say there was something there. He just needed the right edge, the right push. Eddie Howe does that, and he's done it again tonight. Everyone was in the right form, and everyone was in the right place. Everyone had been taught the right tactics. Everything was perfect, and who does that come from? Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall. Love them. I love them. I just can't. I mimic everything you've said. Like, he has been unreal tonight. 10 out of 10 all day long, anyhow, without doubt. And can we just rate Jason Tyndall's style, because we need to talk about it. Jason Tyndall has 11 out of 10.
Is he your man crush?
Oh God, God.
He's your man crush, isn't he?
The two best dressed people at Newcastle United are Emma Kelly and Jason Tyndall. They are the very best and most well-dressed people. Don't even knock it. I'm sorry. Hales comes close. Jasmine comes close.
Fabian Schär. You seen Fabian Schär's Instagram?
Schär's got style as well, but he's a third compared to Tyndall. Tyndall just pulls it off. He just pulls it off.
Tyndall pulls off the Newcastle merch well.
Oh God!
If you go and look on Fab Schär's Instagram, he'll turn us. Shout it out. He'll turn us. We'll hop in bed. We'll give his missus get away. We'll have them. You know what I mean? We'll chuck him in.
No, he looks good in the crew neck. Oh, I've just seen his suit picture. That's unfair. That's unfair. That suit picture. No.
He's a good-looking lad, and you'll struggle to get back on that side of the performance of Malik Chow. But let's have a look. We'll do one final wrap, and if you like this style, we'll get Josh doing it as well when he does it. If you prefer just shorten down bits of videos into one, we can always do that as well. Feedback is everything for us. I've lost the live chat. There it is. There you go.
Question for which I think is quite good.
Let me whiz through the other ones because Matt sent loads. Yeah, Valdemar is scoring 3 goals now, but he's showing other attributes as well. Hopefully, increased goal scoring across the front lines. Lee said his hold up play and all that. Ben's gone and say, I think it would be a shame if Asula were to be cast aside when Vissa comes back. He's improved a lot this season and his development into a decent striker with great strength and an assist tonight. I agree on that, Ben. But it helps Asula playing out wide too. Matt says, question for... Actually, I'll leave the question last. Yeah. The performance, of course, is also the subs who came on and off a spot on how top 10, 10 out of 10 for sure. Maybe mix up. Nick has to score more goals than the Rat. Mix up, maybe what you normally do. Mix it up. Yeah, could do. Lewis, thanks for the feedback. And then question for you both: does Barnes for half an hour per game get more points for us this season than in a 60-minute cameo? Well, not cameo, an hour. Yes, he wins more coming off the bench.
Yep, I agree. I as much as I say about Barnes needs.
But for the benefit of the team, it's better that Barnes comes off the bench.
And he needs to drop. Look, I get it. He's one of those. He's a forward. At the end of the day, wingers are fully on forwards these days. They're expected to score goals as well. And he's hungry. He wants to get in over Gordon and Elanga. But I'm sorry, but look at Gordon and Elanga. They're just a cut above, and Barnes does the job of coming on as a substitute. Substitute Barnes, for me, it's almost like me Bruce Linton and Joe Linton. Bruce Linton is a player I can't stand, right? 60-minute Barnes is a player I can't stand. 30-minute Barnes at the back end of a match, love him. He seals the deal for him. He's done it many a times where he's come on, he's given that goal that was needed because he's been calm, he's been rested, he's observed the game. He's brilliant. I reckon one day Harvey Barnes will be a wonderful manager. He will. But for now, he's a super sub, and I will grow to like him by the end of the season if he plays as a super sub for the majority of this season and does what he does tonight. Like, come on.
With Barnes, for me, when he's hot, you've got to play him. So he's done well tonight, and right. Then now there's rotation. Then you need to show Eddie Howe that, right, I'm starting next game. He has to show that. And then do that whilst he starts as well. So we'll see. If you can drop us a massive like, that would be wonderful. It means the world to us. This also gets turned into a podcast as well. So if you missed some of the show, you can catch up on the audio side of things and all your good apps as well. It'll come under The Last Word on Newcastle Fans TV. You can find it on there on all the audio, Spotify, Amazon, you name it. And that's been decent. It's a good hour and a half of squeezing loads of videos into one. Hope you like that format. Thank you for all of your interaction, whether you've liked, disliked, give us a bit of stick before, or anything. All the guests coming on, everything. What can I say? 2 long streams with the watch along and this one, and I promise you, I'll be at every other game except from this one.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. Right. We'll love you and leave you from me and Joe. We'll see you very soon here on Newcastle Fans TV.
Anthony Elanga.